Hello, 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 everyone. Let's see who is gonna join us. Go ahead, let us know you're here, and let's get it shared out to our friends so everybody knows we're here. Okay, turn that on. Okay. All right, gonna share with our groups real quick, so bear with me while I try to find us. Make sure we're in the right place. And I think we're good. There we are. Groups. Yep, there's groups. And VIP. And team. Okay. We are where we need to be. We get that out of the way. And what do we got here? Hey, Kay. So glad to see you join. Welcome, welcome. All right, let's do our quick housekeeping, and then we're going to go ahead and dive into our cards, which, right there they are. Okay, so Paper Pumpkin. We are now in the February Paper Pumpkin subscription period. So if that is something that interests you, you have from now until February 10th to join in on that. It is going to be an Easter kit. It is called Celebrate Spring. It's going to create whimsical handmade cards that celebrate Easter and sweet spring days. It'll make 9 cards, 3 each of 3 designs with 9 coordinating envelopes. You'll get pre-cut paper pieces and pink baker's twine. You'll get iridescent pink and yellow sequins, and the coordinating colors are going to be balmy blue, crumb cake, lemon lolly, peach pie, pretty in pink, and shy shamrock, and your ink spot will be shy shamrock. It's also going to coordinate with the Easter Joy Sweet Collection. That'll be item number 166954 if you wanted to take a look at that. But the Easter Joy collection is a really sweet. It's in our, I believe it was one of our online exclusives. It's not in the catalog, but I believe it is an online exclusive that you'll find online only. But oh my gosh, really cute. Oh, hey, Sherry. So glad you could join. Hope everyone is surviving the monster snowstorm that's taking place. For us, it really, it's snowing and it's been snowing all day and steady, but it's not like horrendous. The storm we had Friday, we don't even want to talk about that. That was my worst drive home in my entire life. I don't even know if I have a picture. I think I might. Hang on. I'm going to show you what I drove home in. And this is not even the worst of it. This is like, it was starting to get better, believe it or not. Where is that? There it is. All right, I have to. Okay, I think I can go here. And how do I do this? Well, probably the easiest thing would be just to save image as, and come here and image file. It was crazy. It was a crazy drive home. My husband called me once to see where I was, and all I could tell him is, I have no idea where I am. No clue. There it is. Okay, we're going to add. Why is that showing up? That's weird. There. That is what I could see. This is the front of my car, and that is all I could see trying to drive. And that was, like I said, actually getting better. I could actually start to see bits of the road right there. I could kind of tell I was on the road. There was times I had no idea where I was or what I was. If I was on the road, I didn't know. Okay, minus 19. Ooh, that's brutal. Yeah, Sherry, exactly. Where is spring? I know it's only January, but good gravy, I am ready for some spring weather for sure. But yeah, that was my drive home on Friday. And I did that for 20 miles from Taberg to home for 20 straight miles of not seeing a thing, driving 9 to 15 miles an hour. Was not fun at all. But anyway, I digress. Back to the fun stuff. We are stamping tonight. Fabulous Sayings. That is our product of the month. I know I talked about that a few weeks ago. We have the new product of the month. We started in December. This is the January product of the month. Let me bring this into, there we go, product of the month. And I happened to get my hands on it, and oh my gosh, look at how cute this set is. You get this for $5 when you have a qualifying purchase, which is about a $75 here in the US. You place an order for $75. This automatically qualifies, and you can add that. I bet, Kay. I bet. You can add this onto your order for a whole $5. And this is a great set. You can put these little sentiments. They're like a mix and match. You have your happy birthday. You're on my mind. Thank you. Hello. Sending love. You can do anything. And then you have, and that's in that scripty font. And then you have this basic font. So much. Hooray to a fabulous friend. Just because there are simply no words for this. So you put those mix and match and you come up with your sentiments. And I think this is awesome. So just wanted to show that. So if you are ready to place an order of at least $75, you can grab that for a whole $5. Oh, the retreat that ended. Bonus days. That's the other thing. So this whole month, but if you place an order of $50 or more, you earn bonus day coupons, which are $5. And then come January 6th, February 3rd, you can begin redeeming them through the 28th. So you get your coupon codes, you set them aside, you go ahead, you get your Fabulous Sayings stamp set for $5. And then in February, you can shop again and you have $5 coupons that you can use. All right. That takes care of all that. Real quick, just wanted to remind everybody too of our card genie. Where is that? There you go. There is the QR code that'll take you right to it. Again, helps with stamping ideas, layouts. If you want to do a fun fold, it will give you the measurements. So I highly encourage, if you're in a crafty little rut, this is a great place to go and get some ideas. The genie is there to help you and get you stamping again. Also, the online exclusives, we do have our QR code for that. That'll take you directly to the online exclusives if you would like to shop for those. Oh, hey, Arlene. So glad you could join us. Hey, sis. Okay. So tonight we are playing with actually, I'm doing the whole suite. This is called the Lovely Arrangements bundle, but I have also the Designer Series paper. You've seen this once before. Let me change our view. Get over here. Oh, come on. Where is everything? There we go. Okay, so we have our Designer Series paper. We have our Lovely Arrangements bundle. We also have this beautiful textured ribbon, and it comes in the cloud cover. I don't know if you can see the texture in this, but it's almost like a linen, like you'd expect like your linen tablecloth or that kind of a texture. And then part of the suite is also the lovely stripes embossing folder. And then there is the Moody Palette Glossy Dots. So all this comes in a nice product suite, and we are using that this week. And then also this week, my friend Cindy and I will be releasing our class to go, also featuring this bundle. We did pair it with some different paper and some twine, but watch what's coming. Alrighty, I'm gonna set this aside, and we're gonna show you the cards we're making tonight. So we have here Sending Smiles. We have a happy birthday with some pretty flowers we stamped. And then we have here the Hello Friend, which is a super simple card where the designer series paper does all the work for us. So I'm going to set these two aside. We're going to start with this one. And so for this, I have a card base. It's a thick basic white. It's 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2. And if I can find what I did with my bone folder, there it is. We're going to go ahead and fold on that score line. Make sure everything lines up nicely. And there's our card base. Then we took some of that beautiful designer series paper, and I cut one of the panels. It is the, I used all of the panels. Well, it came in a 12 by 12, and it has all these different panels in it. And there was multiple sizes of different parts. Oh, goodness. Here's another sheet. So it was kind of like put together like so. You had different panels in this, but I have used a lot of this, in a lot, because again, love this paper. But this ends up being 6 inches by 4 inches. So it could be a card front, but you would have to cut it down. But rather than cut it down, I did do some fussy cutting. And as you know, I hate fussy cutting, but this was really simple to do. But rather than make you watch me go through and do all that fussy cutting, I went ahead and did it off screen. So I do have my panel all ready to go. So there's that piece. I also have a scrap of my Secret C, and I have a scrap of basic white for our sentiment. So we're going to set those aside. Yes, I did bring those. Okay. So first, I have the scrap piece of Secret C, and it measures 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. So I wanted to make sure it was large enough. What did I do for my die? So I'll show you the dies that come in this lovely arrangements. We have this one here that does these little cutouts. So it gives you some textured pattern on your cards. But there's also this one here that we're going to use. That's going to cut out this little pattern here for us. We also have some leaves, and then our flowers, a leaf outline piece, and then we have this little label, and then this little thin label. So we're gonna start with by die cutting this. We're gonna bring in our baby boss. Well, thanks, Arlene. So we're just going to place that in like so. Run that through. Oh, that over here, yes. So now we can pop this out. And we're just going to pop all these little extra pieces out. And those go in our little trash. And hopefully Tucker, he's downstairs playing with my husband and he's squeaking his toys. Hopefully you can't hear him like I can because it is very distracting. Okay, come on. There it goes. Okay, so there's our piece. And for this, I am going to add some dimensionals. I just did. The corners. And then I did a couple towards the center, just so we wouldn't have saggy centers, because we don't want saggy centers. Okay, so now this is going to go to the right center. Like so. Then we're going to, after you fussy cut out your focal piece here, which came from our panel, that came from our designer series paper, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to add dimensionals to this one side, and then we're going to add a little adhesive there. And I am down to the end of my dimensionals, so we're just going to add a couple to this edge, and then that edge adhesive. Peel those away. And now that goes right there. Now for a sentiment, I need to find we're using our Secret C ink pad. And sending smiles. But I'm going to peel this off my block because before we do anything, I am going to lay this on to my scrap paper where I'm going to stamp. I'm going to get my pencil. And the first thing I'm going to do is, while holding this down, try to keep it still. And I'm tracing lightly around the stamp. And now I can bring my block, pick up my ink or my stamp, and now I can just barely see my outline that I kind of sketched around there with my pencil. And I'm going to use my ink it up. And now I'm going to try my darndest to stay right in the middle of that. I'll bring this down where I can see a little bit better. Get that in there. And I did it. Set that aside, close this up. And now I can take my snips and, following my pencil mark, I can cut my sentiment out. And I have a little bit of a border. And I've got the correct shape. Easy little trick, huh? There. That comes out like so. Grab more dimensionals. Oh, hey, Sue, no worries. We're really just getting started. And then this comes over here like so. And then those Moody palette glossy dots. And take your pick tool. And I did remember to bring out a new putty piece attachment, because that one's pretty well had it. See if it starts moving to come out. I have found it. You just got to be careful when it will. There it goes. It's coming. So now you just want to stop and let it do its thing, because if you keep going, it'll just keep, and then it'll take on a whole mind of its own. I think we're good. I think it's going to stop right there. All right. So now I'm using some of the old olive. I'm going to pick one up here. Here. And there. And that completes our first card. Ta-da! All right. I love that extra texture that die cut gives us. All right. Our second card. So this one is another super simple. I have a basic white. It's a thick basic white card base, 8.5 by 5.5. And it's scored at 4 1/4. So we're going to fold on that score line and using our bone folder, give it a nice crisp fold. Then I used some cloud cover that's 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. And I ran it through the embossing folder, the lovely stripes. I ran it through using our big boss. It is a 3D, even though it doesn't say it's a 3D embossing folder, it is. Get that up there. So that is the texture. You have a little bit of dotting along the actual stripes. So it gives it a little extra texture. And that, again, is the lovely stripes embossing folder. Let me clean the stamp and get it out of the way. All right. Then we're going to take that beautiful ribbon that we have here before we do anything, and we're going to wrap that around. That's probably way more than we need. There we go. Trim that off. And we're going to tie our bow. This is a wide ribbon, but it does tie nicely. We're just going to make sure that comes way over here to the edge. There we go. I think I shorted myself. But we can make it. Maybe. Everything goes so much smoother when I'm not on camera. Oop. Yeah, I definitely shorted myself this time. Last time I had way too much. This time I have barely enough. But that's okay. We're going to make it work. There. That looks not too bad. Then put that over. And we need dimensionals. Sherry, that is a good question. I do not know where my tweezers are, to be honest with you. I have misplaced them in my mess. I will have to find them because it does make life so much easier. But I know they're here someplace. It's just the question is where. Okay, so now we have our panel. We're going to go ahead and add that to the center of our card. Like I said, that is 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. That is totally crooked. Ugh, get off there. There we are. Maybe. Okay. Then I have another scrap of basic white. And we need our cloud cover and our 2 flowers. Now, I can't find Stampin' Up! Because there was a quality control issue with the cloud cover ink pad. They are no longer releasing this, but I happen to have it. But I cannot find my ink spot of cloud cover. That is the only way you can get cloud cover now. It's in a collection of ink spots. I forget the name of that collection, but there's like 5, one of which is cloud cover. It has something to do with these pads that the ink is not stable. It does change over time, but so far my pad has been okay. But anyway, that's one thing. If quality control isn't up to snuff, Stampin' Up! Will not continue to sell something. So there we have no cloud cover ink pad with our in color collection. All right, and now we've got 2 of the partially opened and then the 1 full. Again, all in cloud cover. So we're going to go ahead and close that up. Clean those off. All right, now we bring our dark dies, and we need the die that coordinates with that one, and the die that coordinates with that one. We also need our leaves, and I do have some scrap old olive here. And we'll cut those out. All right. So what did I do? There it is. We need our Post-it tape. And we're going to line these 2 up. And then this one. Okay, that looks pretty good. And we'll bring back the Baby Boss. Plates. Oh, tell me you're not going to cut because... All right. I'm going to have to do this one first because otherwise, if you get the paper too close to the edge on the plates, it won't cut. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right. Now we can pull that back. There we go. There we are. So there's our full flower. And our one partially opened flower. Now, I think what I'm going to do so I can do these all at once, I will cut that right off. And now we can go ahead, line this up. That goes like so. And then we can bring in our old olive. Oh, goodness gracious, these are rolling all around. Our old olive. And bring back the Baby Boss. And like I said, can't have them too close to the edge or they will not roll through. So let's pull this one back. There we go. Ugh. There we are. Okay. There's our leaves. There's our flower. Yeah. And now my tape is sticking to me. And we need to pop this leaf out. Like so. Okay. So now this flower is going to go here. This one is going to go here. So again, dimensionals. this one. And then this one. And I think I'm just going to try to straddle the ribbon a little bit. And that goes like so. Next, our little leaves. They get mini dimensionals, if I have any over here. Got a few. Okay. One there. There. And there. We'll take the two. There it goes. And that is going to just kind of sneak in there like so. And then this one. That's going to go right in there like so. Next, have another little scrap of basic white. And we're going to bring back our Secret C ink pad. And I have a little stamp that says, "Happy birthday." Happy birthday. Cover that back up. And then we're going to get that little label. This one here. And we're going to do our dangest to get that all lined up. Looks pretty. Oh, probably come over this way just a little more to be centered. There we go. And then plates, Baby Boss. And run it through. So there's our label, "Happy Birthday." Put that back. And then for this, I did cut one of the little strips, and this, believe it or not, will fit as long as you get it right on that edge. I know, I love that embossing folder. It's really a cool one. It's got some pretty nice texture to it. So then that goes right across there like that. Then we're going to bring back those pretty moody palette dots, glossy dots. And we're going to take a white one. And that's going to go right there. And a pretty blue one right there. And cloud cover right there in the center of that flower. And that completes card number 2. Well, thank you. Thank you, ladies. I'm glad you like them. All right, our final card of the evening. It's Hello, Friend. And for this one, again, a thick, basic white card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Going to use that bone folder to press out that right there. Next, I have some, again, from that Designer Series paper, the panel that had all the different pieces that you could cut out individually. And I chose these 3 patterns. And I'm just going to kind of get things lined up how I would like to see them. And then this one I wanted to tuck like so. And that looks pretty good. I wanted them to be on point, keeping the point right on the edges there. And then to keep everything nice and neat, I'm going to use a piece of my Post-it tape. And everything is going to go down like so. So now everything is where I want it to be. I'm going to flip it and bring in some and let's see, do I have any more? Oh, I have a whole bunch of them. All right. Another edge. There. So I got lots of dimensionals on here. There's going to be nothing sagging. Everything is going to be where I want it because I lined everything up ahead. I used my little Post-it tape to hold everything in place. And now peel those off. And these now are going to lie exactly where I wanted them. Now I can remove my Post-it tape. And now I can bring in my scrap of basic white. And I now need my stamp. Hello, friend. And this time I am using Old Olive. Just to change things up. So we have our Old Olive ink pad and Hello Friend. And we are going to stamp Hello Friend, just like so. Close up that ink pad. And now we have our final label in this die set here. Grab those Post-its. Post-it tape. Post-it tape. Baby Boss. Plates. And run that through. Pop that out. And again, down in the lower, right over the top of these little squares. And these squares measure 2 by 2, by the way. And it's just the size of the panel. And I will show you. They all came in a strip like this, 2 inches wide by 12 inches long. And I just split them all apart. So I had all the 2 by 2s pieces, and I just picked out the patterns that I liked. And that's how I got this here. But again, just a simple way to use your scraps of designer series paper. You don't have to have these ones that are already in 2 by 2. You just cut 3 patterns that you like, 2 inches by 2 inches, and you have a nice card front. Easy peasy. Then we're going to bring back those glossy dots. Love these, I gotta say. And we are going to use Old Olive and Secret C. So we'll do a larger one. And a little one. And that finishes our card. All right, we get all this out of the way. And we can do a quick recap. So we have our Hello Friend. We have our Happy Birthday. And then, of course, Sending Smiles. And again, this is all using the lovely arrangements. And the best part, in my opinion, my friend Cindy and I will be releasing our class. Registration will be opening this week for the lovely arrangements class to go. So that'll be even more ideas. Well, thanks, sis. Thank you, Miss K. I appreciate that very much. Like I said, this is a beautiful set. It really is. And with the class to go, obviously, you know, if you want your cards to look like ours, you're going to want this suite, or not the suite, but the bundle. However, if you don't want the bundle, it's not something that's in your cup of tea, you could always substitute with something you may already have that would still work. But oh, Miss K, you are very welcome. It is always my pleasure to share. All right, my friends. That is all I have for you this evening. I again appreciate each and every one of you who came to hang out and spend your evening with me. I truly appreciate each and every one of you, and I wish you all a fabulous rest of your evening and an even better week ahead. Please stay warm. Please stay safe. I know there's a lot of crazy weather out there. I know a lot of our friends to the south are experiencing some ice. The rest of us are getting the snow, and if you're not getting snow and ice, you're getting the deep freeze. So please, please stay safe, stay warm, and I, God willing, will see you next weekend again with some more fun stamping. All right, guys, have a fabulous rest of your evening, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.